The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 89, Practice. How did the Academy get 2 soul flowers? Vera asks, more thinking aloud than asking for an answer. I think there's something else on their mind. Do you want to borrow some points? Sarah and Rowan. Yes, I'll pay you back, Rowan replies as Sarah nods in agreement. Rowan and Sarah quickly send a trade request with their bracelets to Lorik and Vera. Sarah sends hers to Vera, while Rowan sends his to Lorik. How many should we give? Vera asks while confirming the request. I'm going to send 30,000 for now. I'm sure the bidding will increase, but don't bid against each other. You can always bid for the next one. Lorik says while sending him 30,000 points. Vera does the same, bringing the two of them between 60 and 70,000 points. 50,000, Sarah says while holding her paddle up. The woman announces her bid and her number, 1. But unlike before, where she started counting down from 3, she starts at 5. This gives others more time to trade points to place a bid. As she counts to 2, number 7 places a bid for 51,000. Sarah raises it by 1,000 again right away. More people start bidding, with the number changing almost before the woman can announce the bid. Once the bids get to 63,000, Sarah turns to Vera. Vera nods without saying anything and sends her more points. The bids continue up until 70,000. There are only 3 bidders left: Sarah, number 7, and number 11. Sarah places a bid for 74,000, and the others stop. After counting down from 5, the woman announces Sarah won. Thank you, Vera, Sarah says before sending the rest of her points back to Vera. Don't mention it, but be ready when you eat it. It gets hot. Vera replies, causing her to smile. As they talk and the woman on stage gets ready for the next bidding, Lorik sends Rowan another 10,000, bringing him up to 78,000. The next round of bidding begins. Number 7 places the first bid, raising it straight to 65,000. Rowan raises it by another 5,000, straight to 70,000. Slow your roll, cowboy, Sarah says after he places his bid. 7 and 11 are still betting. There's no point waiting for them to raise it, Rowan says, as 11 raises it by 1,000. 7 raises it again by 2,000. Rowan raises it by 1,000 and wins it for 74,000, the same as Sarah. I guess they didn't manage to get more points, Sarah says before the card is moved. The woman asks for all those who won items to come up and collect them. Rowan returns the extra points to Lorik before he and Sarah run up to the stage. So, how many extra points did you two have left? Vera asks after they're gone. 24,000. How many did you two have? Lorik replies. Just 62 points shy of 7,000, Vera says before sighing. I do wonder how the Academy got these flowers. They're rare, right? They are, but they probably got them the same way we got ours. It's best to have a good relationship, so I wouldn't be surprised if Soren made some kind of deal giving them some flowers. Lorik replies. Shortly after, Sarah and Rowan walk back. When are you planning on eating them? Vera asks as they make their way outside. I was thinking before bed. You two went to bed after eating them, Sarah replies. That reminds me, Rowan, Vera, when do you want me to do acupuncture on you? Lorik asks as they leave the trading hall. It'll have to be later. Master called for us. She sent me a message during the auction, but said to wait until it was over. Sarah says before either could respond. Did she say what she wanted? Vera asks as they start leaving the academy. No, just that she wanted to speak with us, Sarah replies with a shrug. They walk in through the illusion tree forest and enter the castle. After walking up to Cyrilda's office, they enter. Cyrilda is inside drinking tea with someone. He has short gray hair and a gray beard. Upon closer inspection, his hair is a dark silverfish color, not quite gray. There's a sword on his back, and he's wearing a military uniform. There's a sword scar on his face going over his right eye. It doesn't seem to have touched his eye, though, so he can still see through it. He's 5 feet 10 inches tall and has a muscular frame. How'd the auction go? Cyrilda asks them as they enter and take a seat. It was surprising. We got soul flowers, Sarah replies, causing her to nod happily. Good. I was a little worried you might not have the points for it, Cyrilda replies. We almost didn't. We had to borrow their points. I think they have somewhere around 30,000 points left now. Rowan says. How much did you end up paying for the flowers? Cyrilda asks. 74,000 points for both of them, Vera says. I thought it would have gone higher, Cyrilda says. I'm sure it would have, but it didn't seem like anyone else was able to pool together that many points, Lorik says. Well, the reason I called you here today is to go over the limited dungeon. It'll be the day after tomorrow, so I want you to be prepared. Except for you, Lorik, you and my friend here will be having your own chat, Cyrilda says while motioning to the man next to her. I've heard great things about you, Lorik. My name is Corvin. I'm a general who used to work under Cyrilda before her retirement, he says while standing up and reaching out to shake Lorik's hand. The first thing Lorik notices when they shake hands is how calloused his hand is. Not that all his time spent in the woods and fighting didn't callous his own hands, but Corvin's is still more callous than his. What kind of chat are we having? Lorik asks as they pull their hands away. Corvin here is a grand mage who uses the sword law. He's going to teach you a few things about it, but you'll be going off somewhere else for it. I'll come pick you up soon, Cyrilda says before a magic circle appears under both Lorik and Corvin's feet. The two teleport out to a dirt field. There's a mountain behind them, but nothing else around. We're near the border we share with another kingdom. It's a barren land where not much grows, so it's fine if we destroy a few things here, Corvin says as Lorik looks around. Why are we out here? Lorik asks. I'm going to teach you a bit about the sword law. It's a rather unique law that has its own quirks, Corvin replies before drawing his sword. The first quirk is that there are no spells for this law, he says, surprising Lorik. There are no spells? Then how do you fight? Lorik asks. From his practices, all he could do with the sword law was make something sharper or duller, but he's heard of mages being able to cut down monsters in the sky. Like this? Corvin replies while raising his sword. A silver light appears on his sword. He swings it and the light shoots out, running along the ground in front of him. It only travels 10 feet and fades quickly. Once it's gone, Lorik sees that the ground is cut up. There's a hole in the ground wide enough for him to stick his foot into. Sword mages, as we call ourselves, imbue aura mixed with our sword law onto our swords. Most people just call this sword aura for short. I'll be teaching you how to do this today, Corvin says before sheathing his sword. I've never manipulated my aura before, Lorik admits as Corvin walks over. That's fine. Everyone starts somewhere. Besides, Cyrilda tells me you can see aura and already know how to restrain your breath and murderous intent. Those will make learning this a lot easier, Corvin says, causing Lorik to nod. So to start with, take out your sword, he says. Lorik creates a sword made up of his soul power with his soul law. What kind of sword is that? Corvin asks, confused upon seeing it. It's made using my soul law. I can make it float and attack without needing to hold it, but I can only make one for now, Lorik replies, causing Corvin to nod, impressed. Then hold it and imagine moving your aura to the blade. You can see it with that spell of yours. I can't tell you how to move it, as it's different for everyone. I can only guide you, Corvin says before stepping back. Lorik starts trying to manipulate his aura. He casts Hunter's Vision and looks down. He sees his own aura and imagines it flowing like a river along his arm to the sword. After 10 minutes of trying, Corvin speaks up. Aura isn't like soul power. You can't move it because your mind wants to. Your soul has to do it, Corvin says, and Lorik nods before pausing. My soul has to do it, Lorik thinks before smiling. His sword lights up with a blue metallic light. Corvin looks at him, shocked, before regaining himself. Impressive. It normally takes a few days to learn this as a 10th tier mage, Corvin says. I had a bit of experience with this. In order to move my swords through the air, I have to will them to do so with my soul. Turns out aura works in an almost similar way, Lorik replies. Good. Now you need to imbue your aura with your sword law. I'm aware you have 4 laws, so it might be tricky narrowing it down. Usually, our aura contains traces of our laws. We imbue it by enhancing those traces. But since you have multiple laws, you need to remove their traces as well, Corvin explains, causing Lorik to nod. Lorik uses his Hunter's Vision spell to examine his own aura on his sword. As the sword is made of soul power, he can still easily change and manipulate his aura on it as if it were still in his body. After a few minutes, Lorik finds all traces of his laws. He starts pulling the traces of his hunt, gravity, and soul law out of his aura. Then he amplifies his sword law by adding more soul power to it. It doesn't need much, just about the same amount as creating the sword needs. Once he's done, the blue metallic light turns to a metallic silver. His sword is still blue, but now there's a layer of silver covering it. Corvin looks at him, surprised again. Before he can recollect himself, Lorik raises his sword. He swings it, sending the sword aura out. It cuts the ground and travels only 5 feet. The cut isn't as deep or wide as the one Corvin made earlier.